Mr. Rizal to share screen.
Grace, sorry, your sound is very small in my side.
Yeah. Please, for Mr. Rizal to help me to share screen, and we will begin from the MI1 from the Trello card, phone and WhatsApp campaigns offer to the project champion Aldo.
Okay, so currently the funnel is moving very slow. So from funnel A, we got I got three new leads. For the qualified leads, I got two. The response rate is increasing to 45.37, and the meeting is increasing to 35.5. And my friction is first thing is that for the upper funnel, so maybe I need someone helping me to gain the funnel. And also currently, the properties that I'm reaching out is only available for daily because they already have some reservations on daily too. So I'd like to ask everyone to should we consider to pivot the leads to consider sell daily too, and not only focusing on monthly for the
Okay.
temporary leads. Yeah.
Mm. So from the question from the project champion, does anyone have any response? Maybe from Mr. Rizal first.
Okay, I think I agree to add more people on the upper funnel because um, I think there's a lot of movement from me, basically from funnel manager, and yeah, maybe I will for the next apa namanya for the next action I will need intern basically to I will delegate to manage the iFunnel. And from the market, Ubud market. Okay, I think I agree with Aldo to also focus on daily or weekly set. Focus on selling daily or weekly because there is a lot of opportunity there on Ubud basically because they also offer a good price for nightly. Yeah, I think that's from me.
Okay, offer maybe from Wayana. Any response for the card and the current Aldo's question about pivoting the leads to consider sell daily?
Um, I think we just tried a good one, so we got a few villas, but for monthly, but we haven't had a success story yet. So we have also daily. So I think until today it's not clear which one will be the winner. So we still do like kind of A/B testing. So yes, this first time for Uber, and we want to see how the market going. And then from there we can see which one should we focus on.
Okay. Let's. Oh, hello, Bill.
Hi,
Hi,
Bill. Welcome.
thank you. Hi.
Welcome.
Sorry I'm late. Hello.
No worries.
Okay, let's. We are currently discussing about the phone and WA campaigns and offer to Mas Gani. Maybe do you have any
No,
suggestion or
not so far.
okay, Mr. Ching?
Um, let's see. I think to answer Aldo's question, yeah, I think we should do daily deals.
Okay, so the conclusion is that is if the leads is only open for daily and weekly, we can onboard it.
I think so. I mean, that's where most of the market is happening. Well, we're seeing more daily market bookings than monthly now, right? So if that's what the if that's where the market is going, then we should definitely be part of that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay then.
Yes, okay. Maybe I also want to add something. Like how many days ago, I also noticed that from several inquiries, they asked for is there any daily rent instead of monthly. So we can go with the pivot that Aldo is suggesting to consider sell daily and weekly. Okay. Any other concern in this campaign? And we will move on. Okay, if not, we will move on to MI7. Over to the project champion, Mas Rizal.
Okay, thank you, guys. Okay, about this campaign, MI7. Okay, I will start updating from the A funnel. Okay, from A funnel, it's increasing but not very significant because from the previous canvassing activity, the bill not finished covering the Brawa area. And also, there's not many market qualified leads on that area also. And yeah, basically bill is sick leave, so it not finished from covering. Maybe offer to bill. Can you please tell us about the area or situation on that on your canvassing area previously? Offer to bill.
The area.
Okay. Maybe Mas Rizal have
Okay.
something to add first while waiting for Phil.
Okay. I will continue to the C funnel first. From the C funnel, Aldo is following up good leads basically, and he not covering the Canggu leads first because this is still the prioritize to know the market, the Ubud market basically. There's a three new following up leads, and there's one new leads that convert to deal, but we not uh, contract signed yet at the moment, and the list is a good system villa. I think just that update from my side. Back to Mrs. Chair.
Okay, maybe from Maya, do you have something to add for suggestions or insight for this?
Um, okay, sorry, we are in the same room with Rizal. Okay, so for this one, for Ubud, I think I don't have much input because we have just tried once before I think we need more leads for to better conversion. And for the other one, for Uber season villa, I can remove the friction so when the contract is with medials, so that's what I can do to remove.
Okay, back to Phil. Are you here? Yes, please give the updates. Maybe for the canvassing.
Hi.
Yes, can you hear me?
I think Bill is is in a bad connection, I think we can move to the
Okay.
next campaign to shorten our time. Mrs.
Okay,
Shah.
maybe from Mas Gani, Aldo, and Mr. Chi, do you have anything to add
Yeah, could we
for
go back to
campaign?
the stats again? Could we take a look at the numbers? Okay, so only 3 from Friday. Okay. Okay, conversion to owners is down, meetings is up, temporary deals. Is there any sort of reason why we can't get a full partnership? I mean, we got full partnerships from the WhatsApp and phone campaigns, but why is it with field canvassing we're unable to get it? That question would go to Wayana actually.
I think for the one that we are prioritizing at the moment is based on the BI request, like ready product. So most of the ready product is not like what you call. Mostly they have operational team or they have management. So that is why we,
I see.
we don't move this one to like long partnerships.
I see. Okay. All right.
Mostly just basically to as our mission is make income. So that's why we look for the property that qualified
Right. Okay.
have ability and fit market price. That's what we
Then the question is, why are we getting partnerships on the phone and WhatsApp campaigns and not on this one? Because those would be essentially the same issue, right?
Do you mean the
uh, one. I think can someone else that WhatsApp campaign answer that?
Sure. Let's go with Aldo.
okay? So do you mean the long-term partnership or the short-term or the temporary partnership?
Long-term partnership. So if we remember the previous
Yeah.
campaign, it's the same constraint that Wayana had talked about, but
Yeah.
yet we're getting long
Okay.
partnerships there. What's the
Okay.
difference?
So the long-term partnership that we get from phone WhatsApp campaign is actually from the first first days of when we are activating the campaign, and that is when we are not focusing when we are still focusing on the long term, but we are not searching for any short term deals,
Mm,
temporary partnership. So yeah, so right now we are currently focusing on the temporary deal and also and only focusing on temporary deal and shorten our bandwidth on the long term. So that's why we are getting the short term more than
oh,
the long term.
got it, got it. Okay, so it's not because we're using a different campaign. It's more because something that happened during the timing changed. Okay, all right, that makes sense. Yeah, no, sure.
Okay, thank you for the input, and we will move to the MI3 website campaigns.
Okay,
Over for the project champion, Mas Gani.
thank you very much, Chris. So I'd like to give the update about MI3 on the website campaign. So to be honest, since our prioritization bandwidth is on the field canvassing like Rizal did, so on the traffic on the landing page is not so increased. It's sometimes going down, sometimes going up, and then we are not really prioritize this campaign. So there is a little bit increasing on the traffic and on the middle funnel as well. And honestly, I need person to change a role as a website analytic. So yeah, that's the update. So I think that's not pretty much update on the this campaign. So yeah, over to Mr. Chair.
Welcome first for the Saras and Ria and VD for the shadowing. And we will continue for the. I saw Mr. Ching have a lot of comments in this. Do you have anything to
Yeah,
add?
not just this, but also in the way we're conducting our meeting right now. Actually, Chair, guest coming from a different chapter, we should give the floor to the guest first for if they want to make an announcement. So in this case, that would be Vidi. Vidi, do you have any announcement or anything that you'd like to bring up?
Yeah, so this is actually related to this card. Coincidentally, I'm
Internetku
asking
hilang.
also with Vera here with me, asking regarding the potential of migration from Strikingly to WordPress, because if I believe correctly, from marketing, they have set a target to migrate by the end of last month. So I'm just coming in to inquire more about this progress.
Okay, let's go over back to the chair.
Okay, let's go over to uh, Joan in this
Maybe Kagani,
Gani.
Ms.
Yeah.
Chair? Yes.
Yeah, so thank you, Vidi, for asking that. So, um, yeah, so to be honest, at the middle of October, we already planning to start this migration, but I don't know. Suddenly, we just get lost and not back in not back to the track. So yeah, we just lost the time. So we just not the migration yet. Yeah. So
Okay, maybe to simplify things, I would like to ask whether the experiments and activities done last month and also the previous month prove that we are capable, or it won't have any negative effect if we migrate the website from Strikingly to WordPress.
okay. So uh, since okay, so on the previous month, we keep maintenance and keep maintenance on the alt landing page. So we just do the analytic and we keep change the copywriting as well. So there is increasing on the alt page, but on the other side, on the WordPress, there is no change at all. So we on the last one, we really focusing on
Yes, this is what we're concerned about. Maybe Fira, do you have concerns about this, right? If we still use the old website and do not improve on the new website.
Okay. So permission to talk, Ms. Chair, and yeah, we actually have a concern of migrating to WordPress because it's like in Strikingly we can really what is it, modify the back end stuff. Like we want to add more listings, and but if we do it in Strikingly, it will be too much listings, right? And we also want to, like what we have discussed before, we would like to add the daily, monthly, and weekly rates, right? And also, I think if we can migrate to WordPress, we can modify the backend stuff, and we can add like filters or some advanced stuff rather than in Strikingly, because in Strikingly we can only modify the interface. I think that's the concern of migrating to WordPress. That's why we bring up this issue. Thank you.
Yes, to simplify things, maybe the details can go to sub discussion. But from the marketing chapter itself, does marketing chapter agree to migrate the website?
okay. Perhaps I need Mas Rizal as well to help me to answer this question.
Okay. Thank you, Fidi, for the question. So basically, from the marketing side, we have a landing page, which is management property page, and also about us page that focus of our marketing team basically. But for right now, we can basically move the content to the WordPress. So I think that's okay. But for the other things like slash jobs, for the recruitment things, and also for the community page, I think that's could be another bandwidth too. So yeah, that's basically for the friction.
Okay, but the point is we agreed to move it to WordPress as a framework, right? For the details of the technologies, maybe I can, Fira and I can help with the migration to make it quicker. But we agreed to move, right? Okay, maybe that's it from marketing. Maybe Fira would like to add. For me, thank you very much, marketing. That's the confirmation that I need.
Nothing to add. I
If
think
not,
that's all.
if
Thank
no,
you.
okay.
Oh wait, let me
Okay.
speak. Okay, over to Vidi and Fira. The movement is actually not. It's strategically correct. I agree. If we don't move, we'll always be stuck in a small house that doesn't really have the capability to expand and to showcase, or actually to progress. We're just sort of stuck in the small house striking provides. There is quite a lot of SEO and also blog and all these other things that we've accumulated on the current site. And that's part of why we actually start getting the experiment that Gani set up was an experiment with the new WordPress site and the old landing page. And as you can see, the figures on that show the difference. The new site doesn't convert at all, but it's because no organic traffic actually arrives to the new site. Right? So basically, this can be done, but one, it's quite a lot of work. Or I'm imagining it's quite a lot of work. If it doesn't need to be a lot of work, then great. Because it would essentially would be meaning we would kind of have to like index the entire site and then copy everything back to all the original URLs, right? And then make sure that all the interlinking happens within the site too. I think it's a good idea strategically. It just requires some time and perhaps, but the way I understand video is that you essentially build the new site, but you just switch over to domain.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. In that sense, then I think we just need to make sure that the links are well preserved.
Yes, that's correct. Because the new WordPress site has a SEO or cache in Google. If we search the IP of the new site, it links to a Japanese marketplace.
Okay, not sure why. Okay, all right, but yeah, we would need to preserve all the content links,
Yes.
whatever content is on whatever page, and then the link. If we can do that, I think from the marketing perspective, then it's a safe move and it's a good move.
Okay.
If we can't, then it's not a perfect move and we shouldn't move, yeah, at the moment, right? Because the site stands all three funnels right now. So if we collapse it for one funnel, then it probably won't be worthwhile. Okay. Yep.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So, Vidi and Mas Gani have discussion. And for the next Trello card is the MP1. For the Instagram conversion optimization, for the updates will be the last at Friday is 27.8%, and the total activities now is 38. And we have, okay, thank you, Vidi, for the input. And for the last in the Instagram conversion optimization, today I already asked Andre for the newest inquiry, and there are an increase. Now is 30.9%. Yes, that's from me. Anyone have any updates on this?
Yeah. Wait, this one. Okay, let me go over to Gunny. Gunny, has this been set up correctly?
I think so. So because we always put the data from the BI card, and
Okay.
I have asked Andre to update the number of inquiry. So the number of inquiry divided by total activity. So that's R. So you know, Instagram is pretty fluctuative each day. So sometimes we go down, sometimes we go up, but
Yeah.
on the overall performance, I have attached there. So yes.
Okay. Let me go over the result. Is that what we mean by inquiry conversion rate?
I think impression to engagement rate, I think so for the correct.
Yes. That's not an inquiry conversion rate. Inquiry conversion is turning inquiries into bookings, right? This is turning impressions into inquiries. So this is an engagement rate.
Okay.
So I think the idea is right, but we just need to use the correct vocabulary because otherwise it's not Grace's work. It's more of Andre's work, how well he converts it, right?
Okay.
So this is supposed to just get us a higher engagement, right? So, okay, yeah.
Okay, noted, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
maybe question.
second question is, what is activities?
Okay, so the
I think
activity is the activity that Grace did, like working post and story,
Okay.
and the commenting other posts as well.
Okay, got it. Okay, all right. So stories plus feed. Okay, all right.
all right. Uh, maybe for Mas Rizal or Aldo, do you have any question for this card?
You should actually.
So
Both Rizal and Elder should have a question. Let's see if anyone saw the mistake.
okay, for my side is I think from previously is we have a decreased number regarding the impression things, which is as we know, if you have more observe on the our previous post, which is we have like a few little likes, but also have a lot of likes. And if you can see, and if you observe more, is we I think we also reinvent the wheel basically. Like we do the same mistake again, which is using a yellow box is basically reduce the engagement impression. I think engagement. I think that's reduced engagement. So yeah, I think that's probably the not a good way to improve this card basically. I think just that, and also we have increasing about 3.1% from the C funnel. And a question to Grace, do you have did any change like changes the box or still using the box right now?
For the yellow box,
Yeah.
since yesterday I did not post about traveling tips, so I didn't use it anymore. Yes.
Okay, I think
And
that's all from me. Yeah.
yes, and we'll come up with a new layout in which I will maybe ask in the discussion paper.
Yeah. From me, I think for the update
Aldo.
itself, for the story posted, can you go up again, Mas Rizal? Okay, so from the funnel B, I think we cannot see any like what is the improvement between or on the engagement, or I think like the stats of each funnel. So we only see the how many stories posted, how many photos posted on feeds, but we cannot see the statistics of each stories and feeds. So if we know the numbers, then we can like see the improvement on the funnel. I think you already put it on the paper, but yeah, but I think we have to see the visibility on the status updates too.
So it's like every feeds and every stories inside you.
Yeah, or maybe just like the improvement on each story. So like, is it increasing? Is it decreasing on the maybe the viewers, the engagement rates, and so on? Yeah.
Okay. For yeah. Maybe for that. Okay, Mr. Ching, didn't you raise your hand?
Yeah,
Yes.
and do you think there's anything that have been and take this is confidence, right? This is back to that addition question, right? You've delegated correctly. Look, if you've been asked to delegate correctly, it should look right. This doesn't look right. And it doesn't look right because, yes, what Rizal said, we are reinventing an old mistake again. And what Aldo said was actually really clever. He's suggesting that we keep track of middle statistics in the middle so that we can understand, is our content more engaging or is it less engaging? The inquiry is an end KPI, right? That's what the inquiry conversion or inquiry engagement rate or the impression engagement rate is the end KPI. But there's middle KPIs in the middle. Before inquiries, there's probably likes and comments. So ideally, I think Grace should be looking at, are her stats improving? If your likes and comments from post to post are going up, that means you are on a correct strategy. If your likes and engagements are going down, that means you are not on a correct strategy and you should revise. That we could understand by just looking at your Instagram story or progression along the different posts that you had made. That's one. Two, the way that you're calculating your progress is not too standard, because right now if I look at the stats at the very top, I don't know how much new activity has actually happened. I see the end result, I see this, but I don't know what is the total number of activities and story posted and feeds. This I find to be a very frustrating problem because we talk about it during the campaign management for the community thing. And I know it's something that's not sinking in because I have interns coming in from yesterday and they already know how to do it already on their first day. So I think this just needs to be documented in a better way, showing what is the increase in the number of feeds, the increase in the number of stories, and the increase in the total number of activities, like we have done across on other campaigns. And I think this is a split responsibility between yourself and your mentor. I think your mentor should be keeping the standard of how we create clear visual communication. Remember, once again, I have to remind, right? What does good written communication express, Gani? Why is good written communication important?
Yes, so we can deliver our delegate correctly, sir.
Right, but more fundamentally, where does the root of good written communication go to? Aldo.
Sorry, sir, your question is breaking from my side.
Where does the root of good written communication come from? What does it help create?
I think it creates clear communication, so it's like even the stupidest person can understand what you're saying.
Okay, very good. And I would like to believe that if I'm coming in and I'm the stupidest person, I should be able to understand what's happening here. All right, very good. Rizal, what is also the root of communication?
So we can ask again about the updates.
Okay, very good, very good. It allows us to understand more. Fundamentally, good written communication shows clear thinking. Clear writing shows clear thinking. Unclear writing shows unclear thinking, okay? So that expresses your competency. Competency helps you gain trust in your team so that people know that you know what you're doing. Unwritten, this creates confusion, right? So we just need that stat to be updated too. And that I'm catching you on is a very fundamental thing. That should be well covered by now, okay? But what Rizal said and what Aldo said previously is correct too. We should not reinvent the wheel, and we should definitely look for middle stats to help us guide the final stat. Okay, that's it.
Okay. Thank you, sir, and everyone. For the low priority, I see that no update. So we can move on to the discussion management paper. From for the Mr. Ching's question first from the MKT discussion.
Sure. Okay. Let's. Which one should we even begin with? Okay. This is a big topic, actually. So let's just bring everybody through that. Mr. Secretary, could you open the MKD BD ADV discussion? Okay. All right. This one. Okay. I guess we're going to reopen a new window. The theme of this one is related everything to do with what we've been learning about digital marketing. So one of the things that we've heard all the way from the very beginning with Andrew Shapiro on branding, to the most recent on Ferdy, everything, it's related to Ferdy Bernardo, it's related to the customer journey. So if we think about the customer journey exhaustively, then we can actually develop our teams to work on the customer's journey. So that should be the inspiration of any delegation, okay? So anyway, I've broken this down. It's a lot to discuss about it right now, so I'm not going to discuss it. I'm actually going to ask everybody to just read it and comment on it, okay? But I'll just briefly cover what this is. This is a way of deciding as more senior people when to actually just expand the chapters and missions and such. There is a bit of confusion right now because marketing seems to supply and demand side, and that kind of confuses people, right? So the core of it relates to the next discussion, which is a talent density and a leadership density. But the things that you see right now in blue, these are all the things that the current what called marketing chapter is in charge of. So we're in charge of listing relevancy, we're in charge of content, we're in charge of making sure impressions come in for guest side activity. We're in charge of also bringing in the correct listings for supply side that match what guests are actually searching for. Okay, if you'll scroll down a little bit, Rizal, I've broken this part into different essentially categories for properties, for guests, and then based on that, what essentially is the breakdown of chapter to chapter work, okay? So it just follows the guest journey, and each chapter has a different segment of the guest journey that they take care of. And therefore, each chapter has different SLAs and KPIs for what they will take care of. This is essentially a strategic map of how essentially to break down and assign different roles. Just take a look at that, everybody, and I would like to have comments and discussion on that by Friday, okay? So everybody can just put in what they think. Is this correct? Is this not correct? Whatever your input is on that particular idea. That's it for that particular topic. Okay, there's some other topics I think up there, and I'll go to the middle topic first, right? Which is about talent identification and delegation. And the current thing that I'm seeing is I don't know if we're actually identifying and delegating talent correctly. For example, we have Grace. She was good at Chinese. We were putting her on Instagram. I'm wondering why, right? Are we spotting the correct talent from our incoming employees and interns? Are we assigning them to the correct work? Are we assigning people to work that needs to also get done? Grace was assigned to Aldo at first because Aldo needed help. I don't know what happened with that. Now Grace is being assigned to Instagram. And from the looks of it, Instagram isn't really within Grace's ZPD from the results that we've seen so far. So the question is, are we picking out the ZPD that's correct, or are we just putting somebody where we don't know where to put them and we put them somewhere? So that is the discussion I'd like to open. And I'll go to Rizal first.
Oh,
Okay, from my side is, yeah, I think Grace have a strong knowledge about Chinese things. And I agree when we. I think it's still considered to put her to in Instagram because it also help Grace to know what is Instagram knowledge and also Instagram experience first, and then we can put her on the Chinese things with Instagram things maybe, or Chinese things with Chinese thing with people Chinese that platform that they usually use. Basically, I think if we already know ZPD, what is our talent ZPD, and also what is at the core of marketing funnel, I think that could be a way to strengthen their quality of work. I think that's for me, which is one is what's the ZPD, and also the understanding of the marketing funnel, which is our chapter.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's go over to Gani. Gani, what do you think? Gani's already written some stuff already.
Okay, yeah. So, okay, so can you open? Oh, yeah. So, on the talent identification, so I just talked to Saras and Ria at the last week. So I found that Saras have a background in business knowledge and living in Bali as well. So perhaps she can help Aldo to persuade potential Balinese property owner. And I talked to Ria as well. She has a background in literature and interested in copy in content producing. So yeah, perhaps she can help copywriting, blogging, and post production as well. And for Grace, I believe the ZBD is already correct, but needs to be more coaching, more directing as well. So perhaps it can be a good learning for understanding the Instagram marketing and and once Grace have a good skill in Instagram marketing, she can expand her experience in on another opportunity. I think so.
Okay, all right, that's interesting. Let's go over to Aldo. Aldo, what do you think?
Yeah, for Grace case, I think for managing Instagram, I think it's coming from her own intention. So I think it's good to grow her ZPD there, and I think from that, if Grace already good enough, I did maybe we can like delegate more complicated things like opening the Chinese market and stuffs. I think the Instagram itself, where it's not really producing right now, I think it can be like a good lessons and a good time to grow to moving into bigger things. Yeah.
Okay, all right, interesting. Let's kind of zoom in a little bit here. This one I wrote a comment on, and if we could open the comment, can we take a look at that? Yeah. Okay, Gani, this statement that you had right now is at best it's a hypothesis. Okay, but you need to actually kind of come up with a system to figure out if this is actually true or not. So the current system that we're using to try to figure out if it's true or not is actually the funnel. So Grace is in charge of a certain funnel, right? What is the old conversion rate? What's the activity? What's the new conversion rate? That, I think, is a way to actually confirm whether or not this person's progress is better or not. If they're moving the needle forward, then yes, I would say that that looks good. If the needle is being moved back, then it probably doesn't look so good. Literature is very different from Instagram. Instagram is photo blogging at the end of the day. In fact, it is micro photo blogging. It's essentially condensing an entire story into a single image. I've not seen that type of effectiveness yet in Grace's posts, right? Like a lot of the photos, they're very derivative. They're not original. They're just sort of like pieces of whatever that been grabbed, that been seen before. And that is exactly what Chris Doe told us not to do, actually, in the video that I sent to you and I sent to Grace. So then there does not seem to be a progression based on research. As a mentor, this is the easiest way that you can examine if you're mentoring correctly. All right. What is this person's performance before? What have you offered to increase the performance? What have they studied? And then what is the new result? That's it, right? That's your funnel. What is it? Previous performance? What have you offered? What have they absorbed or studied? And what is the result? If the problem is between you have offered and they have not absorbed, that is an intern motivation issue, right? They have not accepted any of your teaching. If they've absorbed it and they still can't do it, that is an intern capacity issue, right? They just don't know what it is, even if they've been instructed. That would be the system I would use to test your hypothesis and determine if it's correct. That is your new funnel now as a mentor. Your mentor funnel is actually quite simple. You can delegate everything that you're doing over to a new person, and you just track what is the rate that you used to have, how many times have you offered coaching, how many times has this coaching been absorbed, and then it's like, what is the output, okay? And that would let you know if your hypothesis about Saras, Ria, and Grace are correct. Okay, Rizal, does that make sense to you? So if you think the work is a project, the person is the project, and the person carries on the work. This, gentlemen, mentors, is a much more powerful technique than doing everything, trying to like da, 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 da. You just simply track what is the person's progress before, how many times you've offered, how many times they've accepted the offering, and then what is the new result. If the new result starts getting better and starts accelerating, you can see the growth. And you implement, and the intern has successfully been able to do better than you have. And you can go on and work on something else. Okay? Which makes your job more exciting because you can plan new campaigns and come up with new ideas. All right. That's how I would actually test it out, right? Yes, Gani, you have a pretty good hypothesis. These are good hypotheses, right? Let's look at the ZPD. Actually, result. Where did Sarah study?
Saras is study on the tourism literature, I believe.
Okay. And what are some other strengths that you saw in her CV?
Wait, sir, I forget what is that.
Okay.
I need to open again.
Go to Gani. Gani, what are Sarah's strengths?
I believe Saras is learn about the business to business since she tell a story about she's working on a project that commonly a company come to their school and then she with a group and try to solve the problem. So I believe Saras have a background in the business to business knowledge.
Excellent. Okay. What else, Aldo, did you notice Saras was good at?
Yeah, actually, same as Mas Gani because her school is more of like a business oriented. So it's like every semester they have this company visiting and they do the problem solving for the company. So I think she is very good at the business knowledge and business problem solving. So yeah, I think Mas Gani's hypothesis is already correct enough.
Okay. Based on that hypothesis, Aldo, what segment of the funnel should she be in?
I think for the funnel itself, for the marketing funnel,
Yep.
I think it can be more interesting in the middle to low. So
Yes.
yeah, I think her ZPD is in there.
Okay. That's what I would estimate too as well. Saras, based on examining her background, is essentially involved in a lot of leadership activities, right? And a lot of B2B activities. So this is like a sales and persuasion type ZPD, right? You're able to into a lot of groups, able to like convince people to join a group, able to like do outreach, and there's a lot of experience already background on it. So that is probably somebody you don't have to like, drum up from zero, right? What about Ria? Ria, what do you think is Ria's strengths? Oh, this is over to Gani.
Oh, okay. So she's talked to me that she's has a background in literature, Japanese literature, and perhaps it can be useful for do a copywriting or blog posting and post production, and she's interested on content production as well. So I believe it can be powerful, especially some of our customer is Japanese, so it can be more powerful for looking for Jogja owner properties perhaps.
Let's go down that funnel. Gani, have you read any of Ria's work?
Not yet.
Aldo, have you read any of Ria's work?
Sorry, sir.
Have you read any of Ria's work?
Not. I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay. And Rizal, have you read any of her work?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, great. So what I've assigned Ria and Saras to do is to demo, right, what they're capable of. I'm going to show you guys this a little bit later too, right? This is actually better. I noticed a lot of essentially the talent onboarding right now is very time intensive for the mentors, right? Ideally, it should not be. Ideally, it should be very, very easy. Let me go to this. Rizal, could you open up the marketing SLAs for me, please? Yeah? And I want to show you something that's related to this discussion. All right. In the marketing SLAs, the interns should have seen this already. I'm kind of surprised I don't think they have, right? But Grace, have you seen this before?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. All right. Grace, what segment of the funnel are you taking care of right now?
For the awareness to inquiry.
Yes. Okay, very good. All right. Okay, very good. Here, let's go over to Rizal. Rizal, let's scroll over a little bit, and I have a link for you, and I want you to open the link, yeah? You're in the right area. Oh, you're in the right area, just in the bottom funnel. If you scroll over to the right, please, where there's a training. All right, new candidate onboarding, up at the top. Could you click on that, please, Rizal? There's a little link up there that says new candidate onboarding. I'm developing this because I think this is important. I'm watching a lot of the mentors spend a lot of time, and ultimately this is better, right? Gunny, if you haven't ever seen Ria's writing before, how do you know she's gonna write really well? Same with Aldo. Aldo, if you've never seen Cyrus try to persuade somebody, how do you know they can do it, right? It's not just our assumptions. We need to actually rely on fact and data to see if this is the case. So what you guys should start thinking of are checkpoints, right? You give the material to the interns and then you check the checkpoints. Your material should allow you to discover what truly is the ZPD of a person, right? Maybe you thought their ZPD was doing awareness, but their actual ZPD is actually in conversion. Maybe you thought your thing was in conversion, but their actual thing was in awareness. So the best thing to do is, in my particular case, is to like kind of work with a student on a campaign together, right? Just say, okay, all right, why don't you do this campaign? Just simply do a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and then let's see the result. Here's all the facts you need to know to start your own campaign as part of your research project. That's one way. But let me show you the things that I've prepared so far. This is just a diagram, okay? You can scroll down a little bit, scroll down, up, scroll down, scroll down. Let's say we want to know if a person who's on our team is competent about clients and servers. So we just ask a simple question. Tell me about the user journey as somebody moves across from awareness into deals. Pick 2 campaigns and explain to me this. How do we get awareness? How do we get conversion? How do we get leads? How do we get meetings? How do we get deals? Simple as that. You don't need to teach. You just give them the material they study and then you test, okay? Do we know if they understand campaign structure and SLA? Just talking with Cyrus and Ria just earlier, I think they got it. But better to just say, all right, why don't you watch a few videos, write the title, write the description so I can see how well you understand. I can also see if you write well or if you don't write well. I can understand your thinking process. If your thinking process is clear, your writing should be clear. If your thinking process is messy, then your writing process will also be messy. But let me ask you 3 questions, right? I'll ask you 5 questions. What campaigns are the highest priority? What parts of the funnel are doing well right now? What parts of the funnel are not doing well? Who's responsible for each stage? How much progress has there been? Like that. So as mentors, I think it's more of your job to set the candidate over to the correct area and then understand their ZPD by asking the correct questions. If they have the right ZPD, they will be able to answer these questions. If they do not, they do not. And this endless amount of explanation won't help. The study material is already there. Aldo, that's why I asked if we're recording this, because each time we record it, that's one less time you have to go explain something that we've already talked about again to a new person. You say, watch the last video, most of everything is on there. Awareness, being up to date and being curious, right? That one's really important. A lot of times it takes 2 weeks to onboard an intern, and an intern's only here for 6 weeks. So we spend 30% of their time just getting them onboarded. Why don't we have the expectation that they should be onboarded by their first week? So here you go, right? Go and take a look at our past 10 discussions on the discussion management. What are the insights that we have discussed? Pick a discussion and tell me about how you can be involved in a project or idea. And I would expect you to be able to get all the details right. If you don't know what something means, write questions and comments on anything that you're not sure. What does ZPD mean? What does this mean? Who's built? Whatever, right? So that if I test you on the discussion topic, there's a correct answer. Okay, this is essentially what we would need to start using, gentlemen, who are mentors, to essentially develop and understand that the people that are on our team actually understand what's going on and don't just say, yes, I get it, right? Or you assume that they get it, but they don't really get it, and you guys are both somewhere in the middle, right? Okay, anyway, I just wanted to show that because I think that is pretty crucial at the moment. We're getting more people, so without stabilizing this particular aspect, our chapter is going to get more and more wobbly. Okay, so it's pretty important. Let's get back to the main discussion again then, Rizal. Okay, so Gunny, I think the takeaway should be this, right? Let's start using a test or some sort of evaluation to understand ZPD and assume the person can do it. We need to have a system. Okay, we need to have a system to see if it works. Grace's system for Instagram right now is okay, right? You can put in the input, see what they the output. If it works, they're doing their job. If the input goes in, the activity creates less output, probably means that no matter what you believe, it's not within their ZPD. Result, that goes back to what we were talking about for work velocity. Work velocity is the ultimate proof of ZPD. If their work velocity gets faster and faster in ZPD, if they say, I don't have enough time, I can't manage it, means it's not ZPD. Or they're not doing anything, right? It's a matter of motivation and also, okay, that's that. Let me also talk a little bit about the talent density and leadership density. We're over time right now, so I'll just give everybody an opportunity to comment on that. It is confusing for a lot of people who work in the company right now what we do, because we seem to be spread over everywhere. The reason we're spread over everywhere is because we don't have enough talent density and we don't have enough leadership density. If we had 6 people who can do Google Ads, easily be in 2 groups, right? One that does supply side, one that does demand side, simple as that. But we don't, so we can't split it up, right? We don't have enough leadership density either. If we had 6 people who are capable of being leaders, we could have 2, 3, 4 groups, right? But we don't. So we're currently stuck in this sort of, we have to share everybody in one particular pot. If we want to move and develop, there is a way out of it. The way out of it is that we need to increase our talent density. We need to be able to get on more people that can do things like blogging, video editing, social media production, and this work can be delegated actually off, and then we can start having more groups. If we want to have a clear division of labor, we need more leadership. We need people who are thinking about how to develop talent, how to identify talent, how to identify talent, how to develop talent, and then how to monitor and progress and keep the talent in a correct way. We don't have that yet, so we need that. So this is my understanding of what's happening right now and why it feels a little bit weird, why we're covering so many things in the same group of people. It's pretty much because of this. If you guys have another reason, please bring it up. That's essentially what's there. Okay, let's not forget, it's not just currently Ria, Grace, and Sawdust. It's also Bill. Bill is here. Bill Clinton's here because we're trying to measure his ZPD too as well. Ideally, we need to get more people to the bottom of the funnel, and we can all hire more canvassers to the top of the funnel. So maybe idea, if Bill is motivated, he can start projects in the middle funnel. He is qualified in the round, then perhaps he can be upgraded. He can be given some more responsibilities and be taken care of course. So that's up to Bill, of course. You know, he would have to have the motivation to do so. But apparently he made it to this meeting, so that says something about his motivation. And the next is we just need to understand, can he do the work? Can he convert more leads into meetings? Can he convert more meetings into deals? Okay? All right, that's it. That's my part. Back to the chair.
Okay, so it's overtime already. And for the WordPress, will be sub-discussion for Mas Ghani, yeah? And please write what conclusion you want to obtain from your sub-discussion. Okay, before end, do you guys, this is my first time, do you guys have feedbacks on that? And I'm kind of confused because I just realized that after Tara is me. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, I think
from my mentor.
From me first. Wait. Okay, from me first. I think it's okay from the first time. I think you're trying to observe what is the Scrum, how to you appoint the other people to answering the questions, give their opinions. I think that's the first thing that you have to know first. And what else? Yeah, I think I don't know if you want to learn more how to share better. You can see our previous scroll. So you will know the apa sih namanya? You will know the apa namanya? Yeah, you know the pattern how to sharing the meeting. Yeah, I think that's for me.
Okay, thank you. From Kak Aldo, maybe.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's very good for your first time sharing, but maybe if for some advice, maybe for the time management. So ideally, we should budget our time more on a discussion rather than the Scrum itself. So yeah, I think to improve for future improvement. Yeah, the time management itself.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Kak Aldo. Wayana, do you have something to add?
Okay, for the first time, I think you asking, but I think it's you need to learn about the card more so that you're more confident and know what on each card it's supposed to be. So that's why you confuse. And when you know about more about the card and each update, and then you will be more confident and like fast move the card from the card. So maybe if you're first and not sure, you can ask on each campaign like what the update is this, and then why is this, and then from there you have like overall view of what actually really going on, and from there you can gain more confidence and for certain what question that you can ask.
Okay, thank
That's
you,
it from me.
Wayana. From Mas Gani, maybe just 1 minute, less than 1 minute.
Okay, thank you. So I think already Mas Rizal, Aldo, and Moana already said before that essentially the time management is pretty crucial here. So ideally on the Trello card, it's the simple giving an update. So what's the update? What is your friction? And then we can continue it, discuss the friction on the discussion management paper. So we can just read the on the Trello card very fast, and then we just focus on the discussion management part. I think. So yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, last to Mr. Ching before we close
Okay.
our Scrum.
I'm not gonna say it was good because it wasn't. I'll just be very frank, right? Because this is the fastest way I think you can positively transform. I'm optimistic that you have the capacity to positively transform. So I'll just kind of give it to you in the straightest way possible. Everyone who's here has given you pretty good advice. The only other thing I would add to that is tone, right? I sort of said that to you privately too. When a leader or whoever's chairing has a tone of confusion, that confuses everybody in the group. So you're probably better off. Chris Do had a good way of saying it: believe it until it's real, right? It's kind of the interpretation of fake it till you make it. If you're not sure, believe something, because that still is better than being hesitant and like wobbly. Okay. The best way to improve your confidence is to be competent. The best way to get competent is to go and review past meetings, understand basically how we got here. The questions that I put into that thing, what was it? The new employee onboarding. You should be able to answer like that. Like you should be able to just like a test, right? This isn't the first time you've been in one of these things either. So it means that you're probably passively learning, just sort of like, okay, it's not until you chair that you actually have to really know what you're talking about. So this is why we make it a part of the employee milestone. And congratulations, this is actually a milestone. I'll give you an example of somebody who chaired really, really well, right? Somebody chaired really well. I remember they did a few things excellent. They all followed. So after everything, they said, okay, who's going to finish doing this? And they were proactive. when they didn't understand something, they would ask for the clarity. So they were not afraid, like, oh, people are going to think I'm silly asking a question. They would demand clarity. I think that as a tone, as a position, makes you strong, and it makes you more assertive, and you can lead better. When you're trying to lead from a passive point of view, like I'm shy, I'm not sure, I think I'm sharing today. Tara did that a few times, I remember in her early days, and we coached her to be more assertive. Once you're assertive, it's just far easier. But it comes from a position of competency, and the competency needs to be there, where you understand you look at it, and in 2 seconds you understand what's going on, and you can see what's not happening correctly. That needs to be reflected also in your own work too, on your own campaigns, so that you have clarity of thought. Okay, all right. Once you have clarity of thought, you're able to command the room, and the room understands that you understand what you're doing, and then we have a more enjoyable process. You inspire delight then. Okay. So think about that, study, get better on your next one.
Okay, thank you everyone. For the next chair would be Kak Aldo, and the secretary would be me. Okay. Thank you for coming. Thank you for Phil, and for Saras and Ria. And see you soon on the next round asynchronous.
All right. See you guys.
Okay, see you everyone. Have a nice day.
Bye.